There are 4 Tezcatlipocas, white being Quetzalcoatl, blue being the Dino King in Lost Belt 7, Tezcatli, whose true identity is Moctezuma II, revived and brought back in the body made by black/red Tezcatlipoca, the one we'll be talking about in this video. Know that all these individuals are considered immortal and should only be able to be killed by another Tezcatlipoca. Now originally, he was assumed to be Grand Berserker due to his master David not being able to understand others and vice versa, essentially utilizing minimal communication, which is perfect for some berserkers. But due to King Hassan giving up his position as Grand Assassin, Tez was able to take that position. Now it should be noted that Tez wields many authorities as a divine spirit regardless of whatever class he is in. He has omnipresence when he is within his own domain, not being detectable via magical energy signatures, such as what happened in New Mexico City in Lost Belt 7. He is also capable of creating a city such as Lomek, but decided that it was better to give that duty to Tenochtitlan, who was recognized as being better for that role. She's also better known by another name, that being Twala. Kamasot even says that Tezcatlipoca is capable of doing pretty much anything and is more than just a war god. Tezcatlipoca was able to make a vessel similar to how the machine gods make their humanoid bodies that we better know them for, and is essentially a pseudo-servant, which means he has limited use of his authority, which costs the use of organs. Now despite him being an enemy in the story, he neutrally welcomes the dead, is able to revive those if they're willing to give him something valuable, in this case weapons, and judges fairly in the realm in between life and death, regardless of who is or isn't his enemy. At the start of Lost Belt 7, when the Storm Border was attacked by the alien god, both parties were shot down by Kukulkan's Khan's luminescent body. This wounded the alien god, allowing Tezcatlipoca the chance to steal her heart, and in the process give it to David so he could keep it to keep the alien god weakened for as long as possible, very similar to ORT's situation. Meanwhile, the master died from the fall, and as a price for coming back, they gave up their command spells and master rights to Tezcatlipoca. The master rights stayed with Tez, but the command seals were given to Kamasots. This is the reason why Kamasots is able to alter servants, but not command them. As I've stated earlier, Tezcatlipoca loves weapons or anything that can be considered a weapon. This also means he wanted the Storm Border, which of course wasn't for sale, and seemingly ended up shooting Monware and summoning the Oselome, telling them to take on Kadok and Nitocris. Nitocris, in a beaten and bloody state, was going to be killed by Tez and eaten, but was stopped by none other than Twala because he can't handle foreign substances, which includes blood. Considering when he came back from the Indian Lost Belt, he wasn't too well. Because he felt like his authority wasn't being respected, he ended up shooting Twala in the process, then allowing for Kadok, Da Vinci, Nemo, and Sion to be kidnapped. Of course, they later freed and were supposed to be sacrifices. Tez got in the way and stopped them from moving forward. He was then surprised to see that Olga Marie, the alien god, was still alive, and she recognized him as her killer. Instead of fighting himself, he told her, that being Twala, to fight. Instead, during the scuffle, Khan, the Lost Belt King, interrupted the fight, easily defusing the situation, because it was decided by Mala, the divine filament, which is basically the collective will of the planet in this case, that killing Tez was the best choice for Lost Belt's continued existence. Tez then got the okay from David to use his authority over time. David used a command spell, and Tez sacrificed one of his organs to displace time so that ORT will be awakened, but only temporarily. Chaldea is able to weather the attacks from the Ultimate One, getting an understanding of what they would have to face in the coming days. As time would then return as it should, that gave Chaldea the chance to escape. Now it was was considered that Daybit could have healed Tezcatlipoca, but Tez decided that that was unnecessary, since Daybit needed to be in top shape for his upcoming underworld pilgrimage. When facing Koenskaya in his constructed body, Tez was of course limited, so to match her, he had to don his armor, changing both his class and his saint graph, making him easily able to beat Koenskaya, and with such a threat, he told Chaldea to bring their best just to be able to have a chance against him, and he was solo. Although he did somewhat meet his match when the weakened Olga joined, admitting that this was a bit too much for him. But as a counter to get her out of there, he then told her the truth that the Chaldeans knew who she was, essentially lying to her, which prompted her to leave the battlefield in a fit of emotions. We then later see him being chased down in the desert in a jeep with Iskali and Daybit by Koenskaya, taking a different approach. Now I hope you remembered what I told you about Iskali, because it's revealed that Tez wanted to sacrifice him to reawaken ORT. The reason he chose him was because he needed somebody who hated proper human history and would agree with the cause. He also wanted to see what choice Moctezuma would make given a second chance, knowing he had doubts at the end of the Aztec era, wondering if starting anew would be a choice that he made. This was happening during what I would call the prelude to ORT's awakening. Tez would then shoot Iskali in the head and then would fight Chaldea for the final time, and then Olga came in with the assist. With the fight over, Tez faded away with a smile, allowing for Daybit to take center stage. Now after the defeat of ORT, the Chaldean Master and Daybit both had a chance to return to the realm of the living. If the Master wins, then they get the chance not just to go back, but to have their command seals and Master's rights returned to them. On the other hand, if Daybit wins, then you have a chance at using ORT to destroy the planet. If you want to know why, I have a video on that you should probably check out. In this realm between life and death, both sides being equal, operating at their fullest capability, with the winner being the Master. Having judged this fight as an impartial party, even as Daybits servant, he would then welcome Daybit to the afterlife. Having gotten lost in the moment, Tez almost forgot to give back the command seals and the Master rights, but did so promptly. Now, if you want to know more about Daybit and what makes him so special, then check out that video where I explain his backstory and his reason for wanting to destroy the Earth.